The Utah Mammoth reveal their new mascot and get a win in the home opener. There are still 3 teams left in girls soccer playoffs from Southern Utah, and the Utah Jazz have their final preseason game tonight. All that coming up in this episode of Southern Utah Sports Report. Welcome back on in, everybody. Southern Utah Sports Report. My name is Caden Formaster, host of the show, and I appreciate you joining us here on the podcast today. This has been a lot of fun to make this podcast. So far, we're a few weeks in, and we're loving every second of it, talking some sports in Southern Utah. If you have somebody in your life that also wants to keep up to date on what's going on in Southern Utah sports, share the podcast with them. And for yourself, subscribe so you don't miss out on any podcast episodes. Whether you're subscribing to our YouTube page, because we do have a video element to the podcast over on our YouTube page, or you subscribe wherever it is that you listen to podcasts, you can do so over there as well. Either way, we're just glad that you're here. All right. To get things started today, first things first, we want to talk a little bit about the Utah Mammoth. Now, Utah Mammoth get the home opener win 3-1 over the Calgary Flames. So congrats to them on getting this win. It's a big win. You need to win at home, and now they have 2 on the season and improved to 2 wins, 2 losses. But this win was a little bit of a statement win, being that they were back at home. They needed to get the win here in a lot of different ways. I think just to stay moving forward. You don't want to fall too far behind after losing a couple, so it was a good win to have. Plus, they've never lost to Calgary. They have played each other now. I believe this was their 4th or 5th time playing against each other. They've never lost to Calgary. So this was a good win for them there. It all came down to the final few minutes of the game, and it was a 2-1 game up until just a little bit left, and it was JJ Paterka who had an empty netter to seal the win 3-1. JJ Paterka caught up with the media afterwards, and let's hear what he had to say.
An exciting one because of the home opener, but more exciting because, the crowd engagement, the energy injection. We talked a little bit in the second period, but where did you see this game progress for you guys as a whole?
Well, I think was a tough game, but we stick to our game plan throughout the whole 60 minutes, especially in the third when we knew they're going to make a push, they're going to throw everything in there. I think Veggie was unbelievable throughout the whole game, but especially in the third, made some huge stops to secure the win.
What can you say about the group's effort in the third when Calgary hung around to really push through that adversity?
Well, I think just weathered the storm. I think we kind of played a little bit more defensively, made sure we're in the shot lanes, in the passing lanes, and kind of outweighted them because we just knew they're kind of come pretty hot out of the locker room.
What did you learn in that third period about what it takes to defend a 1-goal lead for almost 33 minutes?
Well, I think just a super mature game throughout the whole bench. I think everyone sticked in, made the right plays at the right time. Game management I think was pretty good from us today.
It was their second goal in this building. How much cooler is it to be on the home side rather than the other side?
It's way better. The crowd throughout the whole game was unbelievable. Started with the anthem in the warm-ups. How many kids, how many fans came out, and then I think just throughout the whole game when we needed energy, we for sure got in for the crowd.
How about the defensive effort to hold them to so few shots?
Yeah, I think just playing at the defensive side, I think that was key for sure. No one was selfish leaving the zone or anything. I think everyone just stick to the game plan, what we talked before the game, and worked out.
How about Veggie? How good was he?
He was unbelievable. I think just the saves he made. We gave up kind of a lot of scoring chances, but when we needed Veggie, he was better than ever.
Your play so far early in the season shows that it might be easy adapting to Utah's system. Has it been easy for you to kind of come to this new team?
Probably not at the start. I would say preseason was a little different, but I think as the season started, I was ready. It's not much thinking anymore on the ice, which is good, and I just try to play instinctive out there.
How much more comfortable do you feel every game that goes on?
Way more comfortable. I think just chemistry-wise, I think we're building more and more as more we play, and I think you can also see it on the ice. The plays we make is getting way better from game 1 to now.
The fans showed out tonight. How good does it feel to reward them with a victory?
Really good. To salute them at the end was kind of like what we wanted, and we did it.
What about the 0 for 6 on the power play? Is there something specific that you guys are working on that's just not working?
Well, I think we had really a lot of looks that just didn't pan out, broken sticks, or a lot of good plays too. And I think just review it and stick to what we've been doing. And I think just keep a little bit more shooting, more like a shooting threat.
On your goal, you showed off your speed, and do you think that's something that you bring to this team, and you know right away when you pick up that puck you can get past guys?
Absolutely. I think that has always been a huge strength for me, just going by defenders, and I hope to continue that here.
Do you think you're the fastest on the team?
That's a good question. Tanny's pretty fast as well, but we'll see.
There you go, JJ Peterka talking with the media after the game and giving a lot of credit where credit needs to be given to, and that was to Karel Vejmelka in the goal. Now, when he was in the goal the last the two final periods of the game, I mean, he completely shut that out. And if you look at the third period alone, the amount of work he was putting in, there were a lot of shots on goal in the third. So for Karel Vejmelka, he was one of the stars of the game. But, of course, Peterka as well. So, really, really good game overall. Way to protect home ice was just phenomenal. So, shout out to the Utah Mammoth getting another win here. But we're not done talking the Mammoth just yet, because the big news is that the Utah Mammoth has unveiled their new mascot, Tusky. Now, looking online, it's a little bit divisive, and I just kind of want to get your take on this mascot. So let's take a look here at what the mascot looks like. Here's Tusky. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can take a look at him. Tusky's a mammoth. He is exactly what you think he is. He's a light blue mammoth. And I love it, personally. I think he looks awesome. And so Tusky is the new Utah Mammoth mascot. Online, there were people saying that they don't like that he's got like the angry eyes. I think it's cool. I love a good angry mascot. I think it looks awesome. So I'm a big fan of it. And I think that eventually down the road, Utah Mammoth need to unveil like a secondary mascot. I think we need Clubber. Okay. I think we need Clubber the caveman. That would be an amazing secondary mascot. I hope that one comes down the line eventually. But for now, we've got Tusky, and I would love to know what your thoughts are. You can comment on the podcast and just let me know what you think of Tusky, the mascot. I think he looks awesome. I'm a fan of it. I think it's super cool. So Tusky, the new mascot for the Utah Mammoth, and we'll see how he does. I kind of want to see a game in person, because a lot of the mascot stuff just goes on behind the scenes. You don't really see that when you're watching a game on TV. So I kind of want to see how he does when you're watching the game in person. We'll see. It could be fun, though. All right, let's move on. We've got some Region 9 to talk about here today. We have some soccer going on today. We have a few different teams that have still made it through the next round of the playoffs. And so a few of those will be playing right here in St. George. Now, we do have two teams going head-to-head today, which is going to be really awesome. We love it when we get some head-to-head matchups, but I always like to see them later on in the playoffs. Luckily, this is like the third round, so it's not the worst place to have the worst spot to have this kind of a matchup, because you are far enough along. But we have Snow Canyon and Crimson Cliffs. Those two teams going head-to-head today at 4. So that'll be over at Snow Canyon High School. We are still sitting inside of the home sites of the playoffs. So through the third round, it's still home sites. Then the quarterfinals will be at Zions Bank Stadium, which is in Harriman, Utah. And then the finals are going to be America First, which is where Real Salt Lake plays. The Utah Royals play. That's going to be where the finals are in Sandy. So that'll be awesome. But for today, again, Snow Canyon and Crimson Cliffs, they both got wins in the rounds earlier this week on Tuesday. They got wins. Snow Canyon was 2-0 over Judge Memorial. Crimson Cliffs got a 2-1 win over Uinta to knock them out of the playoffs. And also, Desert Hills gets the win last week. Now, they're on the road today. They're going to be facing off against Green Canyon at 4 o'clock today up in Cache Valley. Green Canyon took Cedar out. So no more Cedar Reds. That was a 4-1 win for the Wolves there for Green Canyon. Desert Hills got a 2-0 win for over East. And so they have their work cut out for them. Desert Hills does. But I would love to see some sort of an upset. We like upsets, right? We want to see some upsets happen. So this would be a major upset if Desert Hills were to win against Green Canyon. They're the number 2 team in the state, and they are number 2 for a reason. They just don't lose a lot of games. To be fair, Desert Hills hasn't lost a lot of games either. So there's a good chance for Desert Hills Soccer here to make some sort of a statement and try to move on. If they do, they would be facing the winner of that Snow Canyon and Crimson Cliffs game, which would then mean that we for sure would have a Region 9 team in the state championship coming up on the 24th. I would like to see that. I think that'd be really awesome. On one side of the bracket is where all of the Region 9 teams live. On the other side, there's not a single one. It's Ridgeline, Mountain View, Mountain Crest, and Park City that are on one side. And then the other side is Green Canyon, Desert Hills, Snow Canyon, Crimson Cliffs. So lots of Southern Utah on one side, lots of Northern Utah on the other. It's very, very possible, though, that we could see a Region 9 team in the state championship. It's not set in stone. Green Canyon is still there. I'm just saying Green Canyon's got to knock out a few Region 9 teams to get there. Snow Canyon, Crimson Cliffs tonight, or today, really, this afternoon, 4 o'clock p.m. Desert Hills is at Green Canyon, just to recap that one last time. I want to give a shout out as well to Pineview Boys cross country team winning divisionals this last week in Orem. They will be going up to state, plus there's a whole lot of other teams going to state as well, not just Pineview. So best of luck. We'll talk more state cross country as we get a little closer to it, which will be awesome. And maybe we'll try to get some interviews. I talked with Pineview's coach to ask him to come on the show. He said that he would if we could get the schedule figured out. So hopefully we could get that figured out and get him on. Would absolutely love to talk some more cross country. I feel like it's a sport that doesn't get a lot of love, especially in the world of radio and in this case podcasting, just because it's cross country. I get it. I ran cross country when I was in high school. So I understand that it's a sport it's a very individual sport. Although there is definitely a team element to it, it is still very individual. I would still like to see if we can get some more commentary on that and give cross country its dues. So that is another thing we could be talking about coming up. And again, cross country divisionals, Pineview Boys getting the win there, and they're in their group for their division. All right, let's move on to some Utah Tech news. Utah Tech athletics. We do have tennis in town today. There's a tournament going on at the tennis courts for Utah Tech. And if you've never seen these, they actually built some new tennis courts not all that long ago. I mean, it's been somewhat recently, but they tore out the tennis courts that were over on what is now University 700 East. They tore those out and they built some new ones over by the old East Elementary School on the other side of the Atwood Innovation Plaza. So that's where they are going to be holding this tennis tournament. It's in town. It's going on today. It's probably going on right now. If you're listening to this podcast, as soon as it's released, it's going on. As I'm talking about it, it's happening right now here on the morning of October 16th. So we have that. Tonight, we have women's soccer. They have Tarleton in town. So we will have some soccer going on tonight as well. And as of right now, soccer is kind of sitting in the middle of the pack. They would like to get up a little bit further. They're 5 wins, 5 losses, and 4 overtime, just ties. And so they haven't got anything outside of that. But it is going to be a home game tonight, 7 o'clock, Greater Zion Stadium. They're having what they're calling a youth soccer night as well, which is really awesome and really fun. So go check that out. It's going to be a good game tonight against Tarleton. And I really think that this soccer team is poised to make some big moves. I think there's a lot of good things that they can do. Tarleton's good. Don't get me wrong. Tarleton is really good, but they've lost a few recently. They did beat Utah Tech earlier this season back on October 5th. They held a youth soccer day at home in Stephenville, Texas, and that was a 4-3 win for Tarleton State. But now they are here at Greater Zion Stadium, and there's a good chance Utah Tech could try and put one over on them. They were close last time. Let's see what they can do this time. Again, they lost that game to Tarleton State 3-4. And it was Bree Koselski who had 2 of the 3 goals, and we'll see what she does this time around against Tarleton State. That is it for Utah Tech. Not a lot right now for Utah Tech. We'll talk more about them tomorrow. SUU, we've got a little bit here as well because they also have soccer. And for them, it's another home game against Abeline Christian. Now, these two teams did face off earlier this year back on October 5th as well, and this one was a loss. It was a 4-0 loss. Abeline Christian took them down. So work is cut out for them. They haven't won a game since they played against Tarleton State back on October 2nd. So this would be a really good time to start to turn things around for SUU if possible. That'd be really good for them to do, and we'll see if they can. We'll see if they can. All right, that'll wrap it up for Southern Utah Athletics. Let's move on to the Utah Jazz. They have their final preseason game today. It's going to be against the Portland Trailblazers. Now, they have yet to win in the preseason. This would be a good opportunity for them to try to get a win. It's really not all that important right now because it is still preseason. So if they lose tonight, okay, not a big deal, but they are still just trying to shore up the roster. Right. So they will be having roster cuts coming up here, and they're just trying to whittle it down to their 15 players. They'll be having that in the next few days before they get into the regular season coming up. And for the Utah Jazz, their first regular season game is going to be next week on Wednesday, October 22nd against the Clippers. So they'll have a little bit of time. The big thing here is really just to test the waters with some of the guys on the bench. The starting lineup doesn't matter so much. You do want to see how guys are doing. You want to see who is going to get that starting position. And in certain cases, it's, things like the rookies, right? Does Ace Bailey deserve to have a starting spot? That is going to be one of the big questions here. I think he probably will. So that will be one of the things they're looking for right now in the preseason. It's not about wins and losses here in the preseason. It really is simply about how well are guys playing? How well are they playing? Taylor Hendricks, Lauri Markkanen, Yusuf Nurkic, Ace Bailey, Keontae George. Those are going to be guys that's like, yeah, those guys are sticking around. Bryce Sensabaugh is going to stick around. Cody Williams will be there. Kyle Filipowski, Walter Clayton Jr. All these guys are involved. It really will be more about some of the guys at the lower end. And at this point, too, in the preseason, it's the fourth game of preseason. They kind of know. They kind of know who's going to be there or not. Walker Kessler still kind of being injured. He hasn't really been playing much. Obviously, he's around. He's realistically your starting center, so you'll be seeing him. But there will be a few cuts to come here in the next few days as teams start to build up their rosters for the actual season in about a week. So get ready for that. Again, final game is tonight, and be expecting that one. All right, and we finally get on into the Golden Knights. This is the last thing we're covering here today. Vegas Golden Knights, they are back at home. They're taking on the Boston Bruins. So far, Boston up to this point in the season have been playing really well. 3 wins, 1 loss. That's a good team right there. That is a really good team. Expect that to be one of those things that Vegas is going to have to fight against, is just the fact that they're a good team. Up to this point, again, for Boston, with their 3 wins, 1 loss, no overtime losses either, by the way. So they're sitting there at second in their division, which is really good. Their 1 loss did come in the final game that they played against the Lightning. It was a 4-3 loss. But so far, they're just scoring goals. I mean, the lowest they've had is 3 goals in a game. And they've scored that multiple times. They've scored 3 goals in the first game. Second game, they won it with 4 goals with an overtime goal. Then they had 3 on the 11th against the Sabres. They won that game. And even in their loss, they're scoring 3 goals. So this is a team that knows how to get the puck in the net. Plain and simple. For Vegas Golden Knights, work is going to be cut out for them here. This would be a fantastic win if they can do it. Now, there was an injury to Aiden Hill in their last game, the goalie for the Vegas Golden Knights. So kind of an awkward injury. I don't even know exactly what happened. I've watched the replay of his injury over and over and over again. I still don't know what happened. I don't think he's going to be back for a bit. So you can correct me if I'm wrong there, but from what I understand, he is not going to be a part of it today. So we'll see. We'll see how Vegas does. And they are going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think, this season. And they need to prove it in games like this today. I really do. I really think that. I think that they need to prove that they are going to be a tough team to play against. And they really are. They really are. But again, if you're out your star goaltender, is that going to be an issue? Is it going to be an issue? Realistically, they're going to be playing with Akira Schmid in the net. Aiden Hill, again, he's currently day-to-day, so we'll see. That injury was just weird. It was a weird one for him. So, all right, that will wrap it up for us. Thank you for joining us here on the Southern Utah Sports Report. Make sure to subscribe wherever it is that you found us, whether that's on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. You can get more on each episode at thefansportsnetwork.com as well, where we have a little bit of an extra write-up on everything that we talked about here today. So make sure to find that, again, at thefansportsnetwork.com. Subscribe. We appreciate you joining us here today, and we will be back tomorrow again for another episode of Southern Utah Sports Report. And until then, have a good one.